Beloved ones, there comes a time in every life when the winds whisper and the earth trembles, not with destruction, but with promise. There comes a time when the heavens lean close to your ear and speak in tones so soft, yet so sure, that your very spirit rises in response. A time when blessings are not just written in the pages of Scripture, but written across the pages of your days. I want to tell you that the blessings of God are never accidents. They are not tossed about like autumn leaves drifting without direction. They are deliberate. They are purposeful. They are designed with your name engraved on their very soul. And though you may not see them in their full form, you can feel them approaching. You can sense them gathering. And I say to you today, there are signs that God is about to bless you. Signs that the windows of heaven are cracking open above your head. Signs that your barren places are about to bloom. First, you will know it by the stirring in your spirit. When everything around you tells you to give up, yet deep inside, something unexplainable whispers, "Hold on." That whisper is not your own imagination. That is the divine hand pulling you forward, even when your feet are weary. When the world shouts, "No more," but your soul breathes, "Not yet," that is God preparing the ground beneath your feet for a harvest unseen. Second, you will notice the shifting of people. Some will walk away, some will misunderstand you, some will grow silent where once they cheered. Do not curse their leaving. For every exit is an entrance to something greater. God removes what cannot hold the weight of your blessing. If the branch snaps, it was never meant to carry you. Loneliness may ache, but solitude is the womb where blessings are born. Third, your trials will intensify. Oh yes, storms will rise higher, winds will howl louder, and you may wonder, why now, why me? But the fiercest winds do not blow against barren trees, they blow against trees heavy with fruit. If the attacks have increased, it is because your blessing is ripening. The enemy does not fight what has no future. The darkness crowds thickest when dawn is nearest. Fourth, you will feel a holy dissatisfaction. The places that once felt comfortable will no longer fit. The shoes you wore yesterday pinch your feet today. The conversations that once filled you now drain you. This is not restlessness, it is rebirth. God is enlarging your capacity. He is stretching you for the blessing that is coming, because what He has in store cannot fit in the small box you once called home. Fifth, doors will close. Jobs will slip through your fingers. Opportunities you long for will vanish. And though your tears may flow, I tell you, those closed doors are not your rejection. They are God's protection. The wrong place at the wrong time cannot hold your right blessing. And the blessing assigned to you will not pass you by. Sixth, you will witness divine alignment. People you never imagined meeting will walk into your life. Conversations will open paths you never thought to tread. One connection, one moment, one act of grace will turn the tide. That is not luck. That is not chance. That is the choreography of heaven, placing every step in rhythm with your blessing. Seventh, and most beautifully, you will feel peace. Not peace because the storm has ended, but peace in the middle of it. Peace that silences fear. Peace that steadies trembling hands. Peace that makes no sense to the world, but every sense to your soul. That peace is God's fingerprint. It is His promise signed across your spirit saying, "I am with you, and I am about to bless you." So when you find yourself weeping in the midnight hour, but your tears carry hope instead of despair, know that blessing is near. When you see people leaving your side and your circle grows smaller, know that blessing is drawing closer. When your struggles grow harder, your nights grow longer, your battles more bitter, know that blessing is not far off, but at the very edge of breaking through. Do not despise the signs. Do not mistake the pain for punishment. Do not misinterpret the silence for abandonment. Blessings often dress themselves in disguise. They come wrapped in loss, cloaked in delay, dressed in detour. But inside that wrapping is the very promise you have been waiting for. I say to you, hold steady, walk boldly, trust deeply. Because the signs are speaking, the winds are shifting, the heavens are moving, and the God who never lies is leaning down with a blessing so vast, so radiant, that when it unfolds in your life, you will not be able to contain it. It will overflow. It will spill onto your children, onto your household, onto generations you will never meet, Beloved, when you see the signs, rejoice, because blessings are not coming. They are already on their way, and they are carrying your name. And when that stirring begins within you, when you find yourself waking in the night not because of worry but because of wonder, know that something greater is shifting. You rise from your bed and you cannot name the reason, but your spirit hums like a song only heaven knows. That humming, that vibration, that restless peace is the sound of a blessing about to be born. Sometimes the blessing announces itself with silence, a silence that unnerves you, because you are used to the noise, the chatter, the constant chorus of opinions. But silence has its own voice. It speaks in the stillness of your heart. It tells you that you don't have to run to be seen, you don't have to shout to be heard. The silence says, "Be still, child. Watch what I am about to do." And oh, how the shifting of people can bruise us. We want them to stay, we beg them to remain. But when God prepares a blessing, He clears the stage. He removes the actors who cannot play their part in your story. He dims the lights on relationships that no longer fit your future. Do not chase after those who exit. Wave them goodbye with grace and with gratitude, for their leaving is as holy as their coming was. When the trials grow heavy, when you feel pressed on every side, remember this: gold is tested by fire, but fire does not destroy gold. Fire refines it. If the flames are rising, it is because the blessing you are about to carry is precious. Do not despise the heat. The heat is shaping you. The heat is sealing you. The heat is preparing you to hold what others cannot carry. And that dissatisfaction, the stretching of your soul, it will feel like growing pains. You will wonder why the things that once brought you joy now feel like chains. You will wonder why the circle of comfort now feels like a prison. But I tell you, that discomfort is evidence of expansion. God is saying, I cannot pour oceans into thimbles. I must stretch the vessel before I pour. And yes, the doors will close. They will slam shut in your face. Some will close softly like whispers fading. Others will shut with a bang, leaving you stunned in their wake. But every closed door is a redirection. Every slammed door is a holy shield. Do not bruise your knuckles pounding on what God has already locked. Walk away, child. Walk forward, because the blessing you seek is waiting at another doorway, one that will swing wide at the appointed time. Watch closely, for when alignment begins, it will astonish you. A stranger will speak a word that feels like prophecy. A chance meeting will lead to opportunity. A closed mouth will open in your defense when you are not even present to plead your case. That is not coincidence. That is orchestration. That is the unseen hand arranging the notes of your life into a symphony that only heaven could compose. And oh, the peace. The kind of peace that does not wait for resolution. The kind of peace that shows up in the hospital room, in the courtroom, in the midnight hour when the phone rings with news you thought would break you. That peace holds you upright when your knees should buckle. That peace steadies your voice when your tears should choke it. That peace whispers to you, you are not alone, and this storm will not consume you. Some of you listening right now know that peace. You've walked into rooms that should have drained you, but instead you stood tall. You've faced days that should have ended you, but instead you endured. That peace was your sign, your signal, your evidence that God is already at work. And beloved, blessings are not always wrapped in beauty. Sometimes they come in burlap, not silk. Sometimes they arrive disguised as detour, as delay, as disappointment. Do not throw them away because they do not look like what you prayed for. The package may not be pretty, but the contents will change your life. Blessings have a rhythm, a divine rhythm. They move to a beat beyond human comprehension. They do not come early, they do not come late. They arrive like the tide, steady, unhurried, unstoppable. And if you listen closely, if you lean your ear toward heaven, you can hear that rhythm building. You can hear the drum of destiny growing louder. So I say again, when the stirring shakes your soul, when the shifting moves your circle, when the trials sharpen their teeth, when dissatisfaction unsettles your rest, when doors slam, when alignment surprises, when peace floods, know that blessing is already breathing your name. And when the blessings draw close, the atmosphere changes. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit will testify. Conversations shift, dreams intensify, even your prayers take on a new weight. The words you speak in secret begin to carry authority, and you find yourself asking boldly, expecting differently, believing deeper. That is not coincidence, that is preparation. Heaven will never deliver what you have not been readied to receive. There are moments when you will feel misunderstood. People will not comprehend why you walk away from what once satisfied you. They will not understand why you cannot linger where you once laughed, and you will not always have the language to explain it. But growth has no apology. You cannot shrink yourself to fit places you have outgrown. You cannot dim your light for those who refuse to see. The misunderstanding is not rejection. It is confirmation that you are being elevated to a frequency they cannot yet hear. You will feel pressure. Pressure in your finances, in your relationships, in your own mind. But pressure is the womb of promise. Diamonds are made in the hidden dark, pressed and crushed until they shine. If you are under pressure, it is not because you are forgotten. It is because you are becoming. And there will be days of stripping, days when you lose what you thought you needed. Your plans will scatter like sand in the wind. But look again. The stripping is not to leave you empty. It is to clothe you with better. What you lost was a layer that could not carry you forward. What is taken is only making space for what must come. Sometimes you will notice that even your enemies seem more restless. People will speak against you with no reason. Accusations will rise, lies will swirl. But understand this: the presence of opposition is often the clearest sign of coming blessing. No thief breaks into an empty house. The enemy does not bother with empty hands. The storm only rages where there is something worth destroying. And in that moment of confusion, when you do not know whether to step left or right, the smallest sign will appear. A phone call you did not expect. A message of encouragement at just the right hour. A door cracked open in a place you thought locked forever. These are not accidents. These are threads of destiny being woven into your story. Blessings do not arrive without preparation, and preparation often feels like breaking. You may feel stretched until you are thin as paper. You may feel bent until you think you will snap. But know this: the tree bends in the storm so that it does not break. The stretching is your survival. The stretching is your strength. And oh, how the unfamiliar will meet you. You will be called into places you have never walked, asked to carry roles you never imagined. Fear will whisper that you are not enough, not skilled enough, not ready. But blessings do not require your perfection. They require your availability. God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And if He has written your name on the blessing, nothing and no one can erase it. So when you feel the strange mixture of trembling and expectation, when your heart quivers but your spirit leaps, recognize it as the labor before the birth. Pain comes before the cry, contraction comes before the arrival, and once it begins, no force can stop it. And listen, blessings do not only come to you, they come through you. You will find yourself speaking words you did not plan, encouraging souls you did not know, giving from wells you did not realize you had. That is evidence that the blessing is not just yours to hold but yours to share. A blessing that cannot flow outward will eventually dry up inward. You are not a reservoir, you are a river. And when you see this flow beginning, when you feel power moving through you for the good of others, know that your life has already become the testimony. Others will look at you and see what faith looks like when it walks, what endurance looks like when it breathes, what favor looks like when it carries a name. And sometimes, before the blessing breaks through, your sleep will change. Dreams will visit you, not always clear, not always gentle, but charged with meaning. You may wake with fragments you cannot piece together, yet something deep inside tells you those visions are seeds. Seeds planted in the night, watered by your tears, waiting to bloom in the light of day. Do not dismiss those dreams. They are whispers from eternity, letting you know your story is being written in ink divine. And the signs will often appear in the simplest of ways. You may pass by a stranger and hear a word that pierces you like lightning. You may stumble upon a scripture, a phrase, a song that seems tailored to your very heartbeat. That is not chance. That is alignment. That is heaven touching earth in the smallest brushstrokes. painting your path forward, and sometimes you will feel tired, tired in body, tired in soul, tired in spirit, not the kind of tired that sleep can cure, but the kind of tired that comes before transformation. Caterpillars must rest in the cocoon before they rise as butterflies. Do not confuse your exhaustion for ending. It is simply the stillness before your wings spread. You may notice that time itself feels different. Hours move slowly when you are waiting, yet quickly when you are preparing. But blessing has no clock. It does not obey your calendar. It arrives not when you expect it, but when you are ready. And readiness is not about strength. It is about surrender. It is about leaning back into the everlasting arms and saying, I cannot, but you can. And oh, the shifting of appetite. You will hunger for things you never hungered for before. You will long for truth where you once settled for entertainment. You will crave wisdom where you once satisfied yourself with noise. You will desire depth where you once lingered in the shallow. That appetite is a signal that your soul is maturing, preparing to feast on the blessing that was always too rich for your former palate. And notice how even your language will change. Words you used to speak with ease will no longer fit your mouth. Complaints will turn sour on your tongue. Gossip will feel heavy in your throat. Instead, you will find gratitude rising like morning sun, even on cloudy days. You will find courage slipping into your sentences without warning. That change in speech is not accidental. It is a sign that your tongue is being trained to declare blessing before it manifests. And as the blessing draws nearer, resistance may come from unexpected places. Not from strangers, but from those closest to you. They may question your decisions, doubt your vision, resist your growth. Do not let their fear become your chain. Their doubt is a reflection of their own limits, not of your destiny. Sometimes, even love does not understand where faith is leading. Walk anyway, move anyway, believe anyway, and the environment around you may echo the shift. You may find that the very air feels charged, that creation itself seems to sing louder, that moments carry weight you cannot explain. It is as if the world is leaning in, watching, waiting, holding its breath for your blessing to unfold. Because creation knows what you sometimes forget. You were made for this moment. You may feel unworthy. You may look at your past and tremble, thinking surely the blessing cannot be meant for you. But blessings do not ask for your perfection. They ask for your openness. Grace does not measure your record. It measures your readiness. And if the blessing is knocking, it is because heaven has already called you worthy. And when that worth settles in your bones, even the way you walk will change. Your steps will carry quiet authority. Your shoulders will hold an ease that only trust can bring. You will not need to prove yourself, defend yourself, or explain yourself. The blessing will speak on your behalf. So, beloved, when the signs surround you, when the stirring keeps you awake, when the shifting unsettles your circle, when the trials rise like floodwaters, when dissatisfaction stretches your spirit, when doors close without warning, when divine alignment surprises you, and when peace steadies you in the storm, lift your head. Do not tremble, do not shrink, do not doubt. For these are not accidents, these are announcements. God does not whisper without meaning. He does not shake your world without purpose. He does not send signs without fulfillment. And the blessing he has prepared is not a small thing, not a fragile thing, not a fleeting thing. It is abundant. It is lasting. It is pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So walk tall into your tomorrow. Walk tall knowing the signs are not against you. They are for you. Walk tall knowing that every tear watered your ground, every storm refined your roots. Every silence taught your soul to listen. Walk tall because the blessing with your name on it is not just coming. It is here, it is near, it is rising with the dawn. And when it unfolds, let your life be the proof. Let your joy be the testimony, and let your faith be the song that declares to the world the signs were true, and the blessing has come.